my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher, and I'm here with my friend Audrey Shantz.
Hi. Hello.
She is a watercolor artist and a watercolor teacher, and you may recognize her from our last collaboration where I taught Zentangle to her, and then she showed me how to add watercolor to the tangle. And we had so much fun that we decided to come back and do it again. So we appreciate all of your support and all of you sharing the work that you've been doing. I feel like you're laughing at me.
No, it's been awesome. Like,
it's
I
been
love
amazing.
it too. Yeah.
So this will be the first part of a two-part series. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do the Zentangle drawing. And then I will link below the link to Audrey's channel so you can watch how to add watercolor to it. So thank you so much for your support, and let's get started. Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher, and I'm sitting here with my friend Audrey.
Hi guys.
So this is Audrey Shantz from Audrey Shantz Art, and she is a watercolor artist, and she is not really a Zentangler. She's done Zentangle with us before on the May Florals collaboration that we did, and this is her second time, so we're kind of excited. We were hoping we could film this with like both of our screens so you could see us both working, but we're not that tech savvy yet, so any suggestions are helpful. Okay, so we are going to do another floral and add the watercolor. So this will be part one. At the end of this video, you can click on the link below to get to the second part where she adds the watercolor. All right, so today we are working on a 5x7, what is this called?
140-pound cold press watercolor paper, and it's the Canson brand.
Canson 140-pound cold press.
Yep.
And you can get this at any art supply store. You can get it on Amazon. We will also try to remember to link the products below if you'd like to get what we're using. Okay, so typically in Zentangle, we work on smaller tiles. And typically when Audrey paints, she does beautiful commission work. She paints local buildings, little birds and squirrels and things that are walking around town. She does, you gotta check out her website. She does everything, but she does big. And so it's a challenge for me to go this big, and it's a challenge for her to come down and do small. So it's kind of fun. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with my pen. I've got a Micron PN plastic nib pen, and we're gonna go right to pen. We're gonna skip the pencil for a moment. All right, we're gonna start by putting a dot in each of the four corners. And then we're going to connect those dots with a line that does not need to be straight. Just go from one to the other. And I think wiggly lines like this are a little more whimsical. So, and we don't have to get out our rulers. All right, there we go. I've got our little frame. So today we are doing a tangle that many of you have done before. It's called Maluhia Pua. It is a Hawaiian flower by Debbie Monero. Okay, and we're going to use this as our string today, which means we're going to be drawing this large and then putting tangles inside of it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I hear her taking deep breaths like, okay, here we go. All right, so we're gonna do 3 of these leafy type stem things. And so I think we're gonna start in the middle, and we're gonna put 1 in the center and then 1 on each side. Because we are watercoloring this, we don't want a lot of overlapping for this particular piece. Okay, so my first one, I'm going to start just maybe off center a tiny bit. I don't like things that are perfectly lined up. So I'm gonna go off center a little, and I'm gonna curve up nice and big towards the top. And I can always make this longer if I want. So I'm just gonna leave that there. And then I'm gonna do 1 on this side that's gonna be a little bit shorter, and it's just gonna kind of tuck in underneath, not too close. Maybe we should put the leaves on first.
Oh yeah.
Should we put the leaves on first?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's do that. When we were practicing this, she was getting all fancy and she like crossed her stems and she had all this overlapping things happening. So
regret.
regret. So we're gonna keep this nice and simple. Okay, now we're gonna switch to pencil, because when we do this as like a tangle, we use pen and make these V shapes, and then we draw the petals around them, and it looks amazing. But today we're going to want to erase that middle line. So I'm going to put a V shape down here at the bottom with my pencil. And then look at it and imagine what a plant would look like. We're gonna have this be wide and then get narrower as it goes up. So if you want to change this and make it lower to the ground, or you wanna make these a little bit longer, you decide what you want. And then we're gonna do another V part way up. So we're gonna end up with 3 V's is what we want. So I'm gonna do a V right about here, and it's going to be just a little bit shorter than the one before, but not too short because we still have one more to make. And we want to draw inside of these. So if you make everything too tiny, there's not gonna be a lot of room. Okay, I'm gonna do a smaller one up here. How's it going?
Good.
Good, all right. And then at the top, we're going to put just 1 leaf, and we'll do that with our pen in a moment. If you wanna do it with pencil first, you can, but I think I'm gonna wait and see how my petals turn out. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick up my pen now, and I'm gonna give this a bump on the top and a bump on the bottom. Then I'm gonna go to this side and do a bump here and a bump here. Look how cute it already looks.
Mm-hmm.
Bump here and here. And make these nice and wide so that we can draw in them. If you make them really narrow, it's gonna be harder to fill. You're nodding. Did you make them too narrow?
No, I forgot to go to my pen and also
Oh,
tell me not to
yes.
go over the pencil. That's what I would have done. I would have gone right over that pencil with this pen.
Oh yeah, so don't put ink over the pencil part right now. Just put the ink on the outside of these. We're just using the pencil as our guide.
I love having pencil because I love to move it and erase
Yes,
it.
right? And then this one and this one.
Cute.
And then we'll erase it at the end because I don't want to smudge any of our work. So now I just need one at the top. So if I've got room, I can fit it right here, but if I feel like I want this to maybe be a little bit longer, I can extend it, and then I can put it in. And now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have a line down the center, but that's okay. We'll work with that. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yours looks good. Okay, let's do 2 more. I'm gonna go over to the left-hand side because I have more room, and I'm going to do a little bit shorter one that's gonna start a little ways in so that I've got room for those leaves on both sides, and I'm just gonna curve it up like that. And then we're switching to pencil. I know this is kind of confusing. We don't usually switch back and forth, but I think this is the best way to do it. Okay, so put in that big V on the bottom and use up whatever space you have left on this side. So if your border's over a little ways, then stretch this out. And it's okay if your leaves touch and do that little go behind, it's okay. I'm just kind of trying to avoid it for the most part for the watercolor. Okay, so let's do 2 more of those. And remember, they get a little bit shorter each time. And then grab your pen. This is so much switching, I apologize. So now we're not going to ink in that pencil part, but we're just using that as our guide to put our bumps in. So we're gonna do a bump on top and a bump on the bottom.
I love the Zentangle way of doing leaves because I have never done it this way before,
Really?
but it's just smart. Yeah, I like it.
It keeps things kind of even, I think.
Uh-huh.
Facing the right direction. All right, bump, bump, lots of bumps. Not inking in the pencil, leave that pencil alone. And now we're going to put in this top one. So I'm going to extend it out a little bit so that I've got room. And I'm going to put one up here. And that one has the ink in it, and that's okay. All right. How are we doing?
Good.
Good. So we've got one more to place. So we've got a couple of options. One thing, so I've got only a little bit of room. So I might just let my bottom leaf bump underneath and behind this one. I also might let it just go off like under the frame. So it's up to you. Yours can be, you can fit your V in here. You can have it kind of going off. But I think I did not leave a lot of room for myself. I'm going to start down here and I'm going to curve it up. I think I'm going to have more overlap than I wanted, but I think it's okay. All right, I'm going to grab my pencil. I'm going to put in this big leaf over here and then this one. And because I'm using pencil, I'm going to extend it right over the one that it bumps into so I know how long it is. So so Audrey's goes over even longer, so she just came out the other side.
Yeah, I like seeing that little tip beyond it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that too then. All right, and then we need the next one. And so this one you can kind of place depending on where your other leaves are, but make this one be a little bit shorter. And then your next one. It's like dancing, like woo. Okay, remember don't ink in the pencil, and just put in that top bump and the bottom bump. And look, if yours goes off the edge like this, wonderful. So now for the one that maybe tucks in behind, like ours do, I'm gonna maybe take my pencil and draw how that bump's gonna look, just because I want it to come out the other side looking correct, if that makes sense. Okay, then I'm gonna put in that bump and the one down here. Looks good.
These round shapes are so cute.
And I like that they're repetitive. We just kind of keep going and going. All right, and then because we're in a corner again, and we've got all this space, so you decide how high you want this last little petal to go. This is pretty cute. Do you like yours?
Yeah, I'm not as good as going, like I like how yours goes from large to small and mine's just all large.
I know, but yours looks more like artsy. Like, look at her fancy leaves.
And look at all my mistakes. I'm like, oh, pen, whoops. But
that's the great part about using pencil first.
know.
I love it. Okay, so we have those done. Now I just want to add a little bit to the border where we have spaces. So I thought we would use this same shape, but we don't even need to draw it with a pencil first. So what I'm thinking is I've got this big corner here, and so I'm going to put 2 leaves coming out right here. I guess I could do the pencil again. So maybe I'll do one here and here, just to sort of fill in. And then up here, maybe I'll do a little bit smaller. And they don't have to be like a perfect V 90-degree angle shape. They can, they can go wherever. Okay, so I'm going to add the bumps on these. Wonder how many times I've said the word bump in this video.
I like it.
I feel like it's been a lot. And then I'm going to do it over here as well. Okay, the last detail to this, again, this is just our string. We still have more work to do. But adding to this, Debbie Monero does these beautiful little flicks of her pen with little dots on the end. So we're gonna do that on these 3. So I'm gonna start with the left one, and we go right down here where the stem first begins, and I just bump up. I almost aura, like I just kind of go alongside that first leaf in between the 2, and then I'm gonna add a little dot. Same thing over here, and these can go longer than the leaf, they can go shorter than the leaf, they can curl at the end, like make it your own.
And they could leave those as little separate circles to watercolor if they wanted to.
Oh, cute idea. Maybe I'll do that on the middle one.
Oh, good idea.
So these are just like little embellishments. They can go however you want them to go. But look at how much that adds. I love it. Okay, on my center one, oh, she did fescue. You don't even know you did fescue, do you? So fescue is when you end in like a little teardrop shape. So then she can add watercolor. Oh, I love it. All right, I'm gonna do fescue on these now because you did. Okay, so I'm gonna come out this way. And then when I get to the end, I'm just gonna kind of curl it back in like that. Same thing on this side. Give it that little raindrop, teardrop shape.
So cute.
I'm always thinking in black and white, and Audrey's always thinking, where else can we add color? All right, and some little ones at the top. I love that. I wish I had done that on the first one. So on my last one, I'm going to go back to the dots just because I already did it.
Balance.
Yes. But if you want to do it with an open circle or you want to do it with a fescue again, go ahead.
I think I do like all three different too.
Yes, do that. Too late for me, but you can all make that decision. And it's also okay if these little things go over your frame. I kind of wish that mine had, but I didn't make it that big. And then because we have these two embellishments on the frame, we can add, let's do the little fescue ones. We can add some little fescue coming out of those. And those can crisscross over each other. They can go side by side. They can go the same direction, different directions. Whatever you want to do.
Don't you love her voice, you guys? Isn't this fun? I love it.
That's so funny. It's cute because people are like, your voice is so calming. And I feel like my kids would disagree.
Mine too.
I don't think they would find it calming at all. Okay, what do you think?
I love it.
Okay, I have one more idea.
Okay.
I'm thinking that we need to make this a double border.
Yeah.
Is that going to be okay to watercolor in with things overlapping and stuff?
Yep.
Okay, this is a day we're just going to be brave and do the things that we want to do. So I'm going to start up in this kind of open corner. I'm going to put a little dot, and then I'm going to come down on the inside. And when I get to a shape, I'm just going to stop, lift my pen, and come out the other side. So this one's going to come this way, lift my pen. I don't think I'm going to do it in, should I do it in there?
No.
No, just leave it. Okay.
Although for me, I need to, because see, mine came and crossed over, so maybe I will.
Okay. Yeah, do whatever looks
Cute.
good for
Okay,
you.
I gotta be brave. I gotta start it.
Be brave. Sometimes it's fun to add another outside frame, but sometimes it's kind of cute to make these little inside ones as if those plants are coming, kind of growing out of the frame itself. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm thinking. That looks cute. I like it. We good?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was like the most extensive string we've ever made. So now we're going to Zentangle inside of them a little bit. We're going to add some patterns. If you do not want to add patterns or you don't want to add as many, you don't have to. This is your project. We're still going to watercolor them either way. But I'm going to start by erasing all the pencil lines. So, oh, I've got my little penny from my mandalas stuck to my eraser. So these are kneaded erasers that work so great and don't leave any residue. And one thing I think with watercolor, Audrey explained to us what happens when you watercolor over pencil.
So when you do watercolor paints over the top of pencil, it just sort of locks it in. So you want to erase any pencil now that you don't want to see later because you'll see it through your watercolor.
Okay. I also forgot to mention that make sure you're using a waterproof pen. Hopefully it's not too late. If you just grabbed like a felt pen, it will bleed when you watercolor. So these microns are waterproof, and Sharpies are waterproof. There's lots of waterproof pens, but you might want to play with it first, even though you're halfway into this video. I apologize. And I wrote pretty hard with my pencil.
Me too today.
Some of my lines are gonna be there, and I think that's okay. All right, let's add some patterns. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 different ones, and I'm just going to write them on the back quickly. So if you joined me in January for a fragment of your imagination, the beautiful people at 7 Forests, 5 Rivers take all of these fragments and challenge you to use them inside little shapes. So this is a fragment from Terry Young, CZT. And a few years ago at one of the Zentangle seminars, Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas, the founders, had all the CZTs play around with making up fragments. So some of them are other tangles that have turned into fragments. Some of them are just things they made up on the spot. So that's kind of a lot of information about fragments, but these don't really have a name. So this one is Terry Young, and I'm going to draw it on here so that you can see what it looks like. So this is our little petal, and the fragment goes like this and curls around into a little dot. And then from this end is going to jump over and come down and do a little dot. So that's the fragment. Isn't that cute? And it has a name like RT1FWC or something, but we're not going to write that down because those don't make sense to me. All right, and then we're going to do Sue Jacobs, who's also a CZT. And this fragment is just going from point to point, making those curves and then doing it on the other side. Okay. The last one is called Hanging Paradox. And this one was designed by Rick Roberts, one of the founders. So Hanging Paradox, I'm going to draw my little fragment there, my little leaf. And so for this one, these two are pretty simple. This one is a little bit more work. If you know paradox, it'll make sense. If you don't know paradox, you might want to practice for a moment on the back. But we're going to start at this corner here. And we're going to curve up, but we're going to land short of that point. So instead of going point to point, we're starting at the point, but then ending just short of it. And then this is our new point. And so we're going to go this way and end just short of that one. So we're going to come this way and go in just a little. And then we go this way and end just a little. And I'm even lifting my pen because this is my new point. And then I'm going to come in and end early, go out and end early, end early, end early. Is that making sense to you?
Yeah, is anybody else just practicing this right now? Because I am for sure.
I hope so. So regular paradox would be like in a square, and you'd go from one point and then come in a little on the other side. And you just keep doing that, and then pretty soon you have this sort of optical illusion.
Cool.
So when you do it on a square, it's kind of cool. So he just did it in the fragment. Okay, here we go. Let's start with just the one from Sue Jacobs, just making those lines. So I'm going to do that in this top one of each of these because, did I have a fourth one? Oh, on my sample I did. Okay. So on this one, I've already got that center line. And so I'm just going to start adding those little bumps on each side. Does that make sense? Kind of like how we made the actual petal. I'm just adding these little bumps until that space is filled in. See, pretty easy. Okay, let's do the other two that way.
I'm getting the Zen part of Zentangle.
Are you?
It's so chill, yeah.
Isn't it chill? I love it. Okay, so we did that one at the top. So now we're going to go down to the next little level. And for that one, we are going to do Terry Young with these little spirals. So spirals look complicated when you see it, but they're not that complicated, I promise. So I'm gonna start at my stem on one of these leaves, and I'm just gonna bump up and curl down and give a little dot. I'm supposed to kind of go like beyond halfway. That one just sort of landed at halfway. And so I went up and around, and now I go from the other point, and I'm gonna come down and around. So I'm gonna go down this way and curl back up and give the little dot. However you make a little spiral in there will be magical. So don't worry about it not looking exactly the right way. So from here, I'm gonna bump up and give that little dot. Then I go the opposite point, and I'm going to scoop down and around and give that dot. I'll go to my next plant, jump up, give it a little curl, even just the one curl. If you're comfortable doing one curl, just leave it like that. You don't have to do the second one. Look how cute that looks. I have trouble lining mine up. I always end up with a lot of space on one end, but that's okay. Maybe I need to go further into my leaf, not halfway. And then your last little bit.
This is literally the cutest thing.
Isn't this fun?
Yeah.
I'm so excited to add watercolor to it. So I was trying to stick to 30 minutes, which means we need to finish this in 4. I'm just kidding, we'll keep going. But I was trying to keep it short. Plus we have the introduction video that we added on it. So this is gonna be a little bit longer. All right, you guys don't mind, right?
Well, when you're having fun, it's
when we're
nice
having
to have it
fun,
longer.
yes. Okay, so in these middle ones, I forgot I wanted to do one that is Crescent Moon. And that's a classic Zentangle one. And Crescent Moon is just these like little rainbow shapes. And in traditional Crescent Moon, you can color in the inside, but I'm not gonna do that today. Okay, so I'm just going to take these middle ones, and if you make them too tiny, it will take you a long time to fill it in. So don't make them too tiny, but I'm just gonna put in a little bump, and then I'm gonna aura that like 2 or 3 times. And then you can pick another spot in your leaf to start a new one. So it could be on the side again, or it could be bumping off of this first one. Look at those cute little curves. So mine is already pretty filled. I wonder if I can zoom in. Mine is already pretty filled, so I have a couple choices. I can add another one, like maybe right here, and then just imagine where the aura is. I also can just aura an existing line to fill in the space. Isn't that a fun texture though for a petal? Mm-hmm. So go ahead and do the other side and do this quickly. You don't have to overthink this. You don't have to worry about doing too many lines or too few lines. We're just enjoying making little rainbows. My next set of leaves are a little bit bigger on this middle one, so I'm gonna make sure that I make these bumps a little bit bigger so that I can fill in the space quickly and not spend a lot of time. And play around with starting on different sides of your leaf, going different directions. And if you've got that leftover space, just do some auras. It'll look amazing. I really didn't realize how long this would take us.
I'm having the best time.
Okay, good.
I'm like, why don't I do Zentangle more often?
So the important thing is that we're going to lunch after this.
Yeah.
And so I really want to keep this quick. I'm just teasing. I mean, we are going to lunch, but
And we do love lunch.
we do love lunch, but we're not gonna rush. All right, I've got one more little set of leaves over here to do. This is one of those patterns that is a true Zentangle, where I always think about like when I used to sit in my teacher meetings. Of course, I was a great listener. I wasn't distracted, but I could sit and just doodle and doodle and doodle like for the entire meeting. And this is one of those that I could just make over and over again mindlessly while also paying attention to what's going on around me. Are you a doodler, Audrey?
I definitely am.
Yes.
I was thinking, I wish my kids knew these tangles. I'm going to make them do some videos because then in school they can listen because it's mindless, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
My daughter Lily does one. It's called Bales, and all of her notebooks for the last like 8 years have bales everywhere. It's just her go-to calming tangle. I love it because she can't always think of a new one to do. Okay, how are we doing?
I'm almost there.
I know I tend to be very quick at this.
It's the cutest one for sure. I love it.
That's cool,
It's so
right? It
happy.
has a fun pattern. Okay, or like, I mean, it is a fun pattern, but okay, so these last ones are going to be our paradox. So we have to make paradox 6 times. I don't want you to panic if it's a little bit tricky for you, but I'm going to start on the right hand side of this first one just because I'm right-handed. I feel like I can see it better. So I'm going to start down at the bottom of the stem, and I'm going to bump up. I'm basically oraing, but then I'm stopping short. Not short, long. I'm stopping underneath the point. Does that make sense? Like I'm dragging it out. And then I go this way, and then I just end away from that point in a little bit. And you just keep repeating this pattern. And if you just always think you've got a new starting point, so take that new point and then go and end it beyond the point. I'm gonna do this one right here. It does not matter what direction these go in either. So look at, I just made my first one, and I love that look of just having like the narrow here and the thick here. And if you're like, I want to stop there and I want to add a line and some dots because paradox isn't my thing, then do that. Let me show you what that would look like. So you could do this first one where you come in short or whatever that means, I don't know. And then you could put in this like line and some dots. So that would be a beautiful bottom leaf. You don't have to do paradox. Did you see it?
Yeah, I love it.
I think fun.
I'm gonna do like both sides this way, and then I love that. So for the middle, I'll do it, and I think for watercolor,
Yay.
it'll be cool too.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll do that too.
I feel like a kid. I'm like, look what I'm gonna do.
Look what I did. Do you like my work? Do you like it?
Yeah, tell me you like it.
And then as the instructor, I have to say, do you like it? Are you happy with it?
You're the artist.
All right, so now, okay, so here's the tricky thing. On this last one, we have to do paradox, but it has to like go behind.
Challenge round.
But if we start this way and end over here and then come down, I think we'll be okay.
They could do it with pencil if they needed to.
You could do it with pencil.
Yeah.
And really it's just a bunch of lines, so it doesn't even really matter, right? I don't think mine even turned out right, and it's okay. Because once I watercolor this, it's going to look amazing. Okay, so for these middle ones, I'm gonna do this partial, start at the point and end over here. And then I'm gonna add in this little curve with some dots.
Cute, okay.
Yay! Partial, and then some dots. All right, we did it. Oh, you did yours different. How cute. So you have these 4 up here, and I want you to do whatever you want in those.
Oh.
So you could add orbs, add circles. You could add some lines. You could do more of the crescent moon. You could pick your favorite one of these. You could write words in them, but those 4 are yours. So you do what you want. Oh, I love those. I kind of wish I had done that. Show people what you did.
Here I come. Ready?
Woo! Here she is. Look at those. Isn't that so pretty? I feel like you just created your own fragment tangle.
Oh my gosh. Can you make me licensed?
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's incredible. I love it. Okay. All right. We've got those done. So I'm going to stop. But if you have spaces that you still want to fill, you can add like a little butterfly, a little dragonfly, or just simply some black dots. You also could come off of the top. I'm just going to show you. And you could do a couple of fescue. Just if you've got an area that you feel like needs something. So I think mine's okay, but just if you want. And then we're going to initial our work. So in watercolor, Audrey always signs her entire name. And so she'll put it like on a stem or on top of a leaf or over in the frame. So you can do your whole name, or you can do your artist chop, which is your initials. And it can go anywhere. So I'm going to place mine over here.
How have I never heard the term artist chop? That's
Really?
So cute. Yeah. And that's how I did mine.
Look at that. See? Isn't that so cute? And I just do my little chop.
Cute.
All right. Whew, we did it. Thank you so much for sticking through that whole thing. That was a lot of work. I do want to say one more thing. If you wanted to add a pattern in your frame, you could, like little lines or dots. I'm going to leave mine open, but I just want to give you all the options, okay? So this ink work is done, which means it's the end of my video, and I will link below how to get to Audrey Shant's art on YouTube, and it'll be part 2 where she shows us how to do this. But then also, if you love watercolor, she has a series called Wednesday Watercolor.
Oh, Wednesday's Watercolor, yeah.
Wednesday's Watercolor, where she does a little, which is more my size, a little tile, like 3" by 3" maybe.
Yep.
And it'll be like a watermelon or a strawberry or little wildflowers, and it's amazing. I didn't even tell you this weekend, my daughter and my 2 nieces and myself at like 11 o'clock at night sat and did, which one did we do? The strawberry.
Oh, you did?
I should have sent you a picture because all 4 of us did it, and all 4 of our strawberries turned out different, and they're adorable.
Aww.
So I know, it was so fun. It's so fun. So anyway, enjoy that, and thanks for coming. See you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.